Hello Larry and Virginia, I'm Tony with Referral Auto Group, and I want to thank you for buying your 2019 Travelite Falcon FL14 from us. We're getting it ready to ship out to you, but we wanted to do a quick walk around video to kind of explain the basic functions of the trailer. Rest assured though, we're only a phone call away. I'm going to start up here in the front. You have an electric tongue jack. You have two buttons on the front of the jack. The left one's for your up and down functions. If you want to raise it up off the vehicle, it is up. If you want to raise it back down onto the vehicle, it's down. You have an on and off switch for your LED hitch light here. Really helps to kind of see if you're hitching up at night. We have a 2-inch coupler. You want to make sure to have a 2-inch ball on this for your tow vehicle's receiver. You have your plug here to go into your tow vehicle, which will feed the trailer brakes as well as all the lights and keep your battery maintenance while you're driving, as long as your 12-volt lead on your tow vehicle is hooked up and active. Right here we have our safety chains. There's 2 safety chains here. Here in California, at least, they like to see them crisscross. So you want to take it from one side to the opposite side so that this is cradled. If in the event, God forbid it ever happened, this was to drop off your tow vehicle, the chains will cradle that. This thin cable you want to hook to your tow vehicle as well. Some people like weaving it through their tow chain, because if this was to ever unhook and get free from your vehicle, it will yank this safety pin here and activates the brakes fully so the trailer brakes lock up and it doesn't go all over the freeway. Behind your tongue jack here, we have a 5-gallon propane tank. Right behind that, you have your Group 24 deep cycle battery. In the top of this jack, if you're ever to have a failure and this jack was to go out, you take the plug out of the top. In your storage compartment, when you get your trailer, we'll have this crank that will go down through the top, and you'll be able to manually crank that jack in the event it ever fails on you. That doesn't happen that often, but they give you a way out. As we walk around the side here, we have 4 points of stabilization jacks. It's also going to have a crank in your storage bin for that. It's a 3/4 inch socket. As you put these down, just apply some good pressure or good torque to the ground. It'll help stabilize your trailer tremendously while you're in there walking around enjoying yourself. Right here we have our cable input. If where you camp has cable and they provide it for you, you can hook it from the pedestal into the side of the trailer here, and it'll feed your TV location inside. Right below that, we're pre-wired for solar. To the right of that, we have our 30 amp cord. This is where you're going to plug in your shore power. It has a nice 90-degree bend to keep that from torquing on this plug, which is very, very nice. Below that, we have our dump. So this has a combined gray and black tank of 30 gallons, and there's only one handle. So you hook your 3-inch sewer hose onto that. You pull that handle, it will dump the one tank that holds all of your gray and black water. These are vents for maintenance for the back of the refrigerator. Right here, this will be closed when you get it, but this is your exterior shower. You have hot and cold water. You have an on and off valve here on the shower. So this works well for washing your feet, washing your dog, washing pots and pans. You don't want down into your tank and making it stinky. This is your LED clearance light here on the fender. Works well at night so you can see where your fenders are at so you don't tear them off going around corners. As I walk back here, we have our freshwater tank, which is 18 gallons. This is where you're going to fill it up. You're going to do this if you don't have hookups wherever you're camping. If they do have hookups and you have running water, you'll hook your hose into here. Just make sure you use a regulator so that the PEX tubing doesn't end up having an issue if they have too much pressure. Right here we have our water heater, which is 6 gallons. To light your water heater, you're going to open this up. This is your line here. It's lined up with off right now. I'm going to turn that to where pilot is lined up, and I'm going to push this button down. When I push that button down, I'm going to take my lighter and I'm going to light your pilot light. You got to hold this down for just a couple moments. Then you can release the red button. Now your pilot light is lit. Now the blue knob on top of here, we are going to turn, and your water heater is now lit. To turn it off, you just turn this dial back to off. When you travel, you always want that off. You don't want any pilot light in here or the water heater running, of course. As we walk around the back, you have your license plate holder. This is your spare tire here mounted to the back bumper. The back bumper works really well. These plugs will come out, and they're tight so your sewer hose won't fall out. But as you pull these plugs out, it's a perfect size to store your sewer hose. It's a great location because you're going to want to maximize all your storage that you can, and also it keeps that sewer hose outside, not in your trailer. We're going to walk around this point here. You have your storage that goes in under your bench. This is your CH751 key that's going to be on your key ring. The magnet holds it up, which is kind of nice. It won't fall down on your head. We walk around this side. You got another clearance light on this fender. You have your other stabilization jacks here, and then this is your furnace exhaust. So be very careful of this. It does get hot, so does the exhaust coming out. So it's here where your door is at. Your door will only open to a 90. And the reason they do that is so that you don't come in contact with your awning arm here and your heater doesn't burn a hole through your door. Now I'm going to set up your awning real quick for you. The other thing I'll mention real fast is there's your exterior speakers. I'm going to show you how to fade those out so that you can only listen to interior speakers or vice versa. There is a way to select inside and outside music. We did put in your new stereo with your XM radio. So the first thing you want to do to set up your awning is make sure you have your magic stick. Never put your awning in or out without this. We're going to reach up here and we're going to flip this knob. Very carefully. There we go. Then we're going to walk over here. We're going to grab this loop. We're going to make sure that these clips are released. These clips lock these arms in there for travel. We're going to squeeze these and make sure that both of those are released. Once we know that, we're going to then pull this awning out. Sometimes it will hang up. Just got to make sure that you get it. Once you get it to this point, it won't go back. The clicking you hear is a one-way winch system or ratchet system. It won't go back. At this point, I can then take my stick. I'm done with it. I'm going to set it down. I'm going to pull this all the way out. As soon as I see my balance drop down, I know that the awning's all the way out. I'm now going to walk over to my rafter arms. I'm going to make sure these are loosened to relax the arm. I'm going to slide this arm all the way up. You see a clip here in the arm, main arm of the awning. These are called rafter arms. We're going to move that past that clip and let it lock in. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same. Now what I'm going to do while I have it here is I'm going to push on this here and I'm going to tighten back up the knob. This keeps your fabric nice and taut so that the wind will not flap it. See it tighten up when I pull on that? I'm going to tighten this up. Now I'm going to adjust the height of the awning with my handles here. These are your locking points of height. I'm going to walk back and forth. You don't want to do a whole lot on one arm because it could make the awning fabric slide, which will tend to make the arms not line up. So we will keep going, walking back and forth. And your awning set up. A little tip is if you're camping in the rain will not run off this awning. It's not sloped enough. You might think it will, but it won't. You always want to dip one side. So if it's raining, I'm going to come over to my end that's furthest away from my door. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. My rain's going to run off here, keep me dry at my door. Okay, let's put this back. I'm going to do it in reverse fashion. So I'm going to lower this a little bit. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to lower this. You just want to hang on to it, bring it down, and you keep walking back and forth. There's stoppers here at the bottom of the arm. You want to take this arm all the way down to your stopper. That's how you know that you're there. Sorry if I'm yelling, I just wanted to make sure that you can hear me. So I'm going to keep making my way down the arm without going too far on one side at one time. The reason I do that is because this fabric here in this channel can slide if you were to do too much of an adjustment at once. If that happens, these arms won't line up. Not the end of the world. Call me. I'll tell you how to get that fixed. Very easy, but it's kind of annoying. Okay, once I have this down, I'm going to loosen up this rafter arm. You see the fabric relax. Down under here is where I'm going to pull out on this, and it takes this tab up in the channel and allows my rafter arm then to come back down. We're going to take it until it stops. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Once you're there, this is going to be your cardinal rule. You always want the stick in your hand. You're not going to need it right away, but you're going to need it eventually because once this gets up to where you can't reach, you have two choices at that point. You can't reverse what you're doing, and if you don't have your stick, you're going to be in kind of a pinch. So I'm going to grab this before I do my next part, and I'm going to pull down on the strap a little bit. I'm going to flip that lever that we flipped in the beginning, which is going to release my roll and my spring, and now my spring is going to roll this up. I just want to keep my strap nice and flat so it rolls up in my awning. And I'm going to keep hanging on to this, hanging on to it, hanging on to it. And now I need my stick. Don't forget your stick. And we are back. Now what you want to do before you go anywhere, you see the awning arms are nice and lined up. If for some reason this fabric shifted, your awning arms won't line up. You just need to shift it to where they do. So I'm going to grab these arms now, and I'm going to set these clips. So I grab it and lock those clips in. I'm going to do the same on this side. And that's it. So that's your awning. So this is your stick. This is your best friend. Out here on the side as well, you have some 110 plugs. If you're going to do crock pot cooking or anything, or you want extra lights, you have your plugs. So that's it for the outside. We are going to take you inside now. You're not going to see me because it's too close a quarters for my guy behind the camera, Paul, to fit in there with me. So I'm going to take the camera from him. I'm going to take you through the inside and explain all the workings in there as well. I'll be right back. All right, Larry and Virginia, let's check out the inside of your new RV. We're going to walk through the door here, and I'm going to explain a few functions right on the door. As you see the sticker here, it says screenshot. This is a spring that will close your screen door without you having to do it. You disconnect it from your main door, and it will close itself. To connect this to your main door, you have a hook here, and this handle will go underneath that hook, keeping the door together. That will keep it open. The red knob is your deadbolt. So when you're inside, going to sleep at night, keep yourself safe. Flip this deadbolt to there, and you'll see it come out and lock your trailer. As we walk a little further inside, we have our converter as the first brown box with the WFCO sticker on it. When you open that up, you have all your breakers and 12-volt fuses. If a fuse has an issue, it will have a red light that will light up beside the fuse that has the issue, and you'll know to change it. Below that, we have the heater. This is where all your hot air is going to enter into the trailer when you run your furnace. To the right of that is your battery disconnect switch. You'll want to disconnect this battery when you store it for long periods of time to keep the battery from being discharged, as well as if you're plugged in for extended periods of time, go ahead and shut that off just in the slight chance that your battery might be overcharged and it'll damage the battery from being plugged in for too long. As we turn here to the left as you come into the door, you have your thermostat. So that's going to operate your heater, your furnace when you want it on. We have our temp control here. You see the line gets smaller and bigger. Of course, this is hotter and cooler. And on the top, you have your on-off switch. Now, they're a little stiff, so don't be scared to click it over. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to turn it on. We just heard our furnace start up. Now, what it's doing is doing some system checks just to make sure everything's safe to light. As soon as it does that, it'll lift the sail switch. Everything checks out, then it'll give it the signal to go ahead and light your furnace. I just heard it light, so I'm going to go around to the door. And this is the exhaust we were talking about. Now my camera's going to fog up because of the heat coming out. And that is the reason that your door only comes to a 90. As soon as my lens will clear up here pretty quickly. Your door only opens to a 90 to keep it out of the way of that awning arm and to keep the furnace from burning a hole through it, as we mentioned before. Okay, to shut this off, you're simply going to click that top lever back to the right. It's going to be a little hard of a click, but it will click over. And then to adjust your temperature, it's here. Now listen, as I go cooler, it's going to click off. California weather, we have some nice weather today, so we're able to shut the furnace off. Then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click this off. Now, when you do that, your furnace is not going to shut off immediately. It's going to run the fan to cool itself down before completely turning off. It's another safety feature. Now, to the left of that is our control panel. This is the brains of the RV. That top left button here is your water pump. You're going to use this only when you need water from your water tank in the event that you don't have full hookups or a city water connection hooked to the side of the trailer. If you do, then that will pressurize itself. This is only used if you want to pick water up out of the tank and pressurize the plumbing. Now, because when we were outside you didn't see a hose hooked to it, I'm going to go ahead and click this on. This is if you want to stop on the roadside, use a restroom, you're in a campground that doesn't have hookups. There's our red indicator light. Our pump is on. So we're going to leave that there because I'm going to run some faucets with you. Then we have all of our indicators here. So our battery indicator, I'm going to press it. It's going to show we have a full battery. Our fresh water, we've kept it pretty low because we are going to drain this completely of all water and plumbing and everything because we don't know if we're going to hit any cold weather coming out to your area when the shipper picks us up. And then this is your black and gray tanks. Okay, it is a combined black and gray tank of 30 gallons, and you have a freshwater tank of 18 gallons. All right, as I turn some more, we have our stovetop here. And it's a 2-burner stovetop. It does not have an automatic ignition, so you see my lighter, the same one I used with the water heater. So these are great. Get a couple of them. And we're going to turn this to light. And there's your burner. We're going to do the same for the second one. You can hear your new stereo playing, Larry. There's your second burner. All right, so we'll turn it off. Above that, you have your light for your hood range and your fan. Okay, and your microwave. The microwave is going to have its instruction booklet. It'll walk you all the way through it. We've already tested it and made sure everything works. Here's your sink. Okay, we have the plumbing pressurized, so when I turn this on, we're going to hear a pump run, possibly, depending on where it's located. It's located under this bench. So you will hear the pump run every time you activate a faucet. Okay. Below that, we have our refrigerator. This is a 3 cubic foot, 3-way refrigerator. So this has an extra function than most RVs you'll typically see, and this has a 12-volt function. So to get to the controls, we're going to lift this plastic cover up, and I'm going to try and hold it up while I do this. Now, the lights are not going to show very well, but all the way to the left is your on-off button. When you come in, that's where you want to turn it on. When you turn it on, you're going to see all the lights light up. You can kind of pick that up in the video. Now, the next one is AC and DC. I have it on AC right now, but if I push this, you'll see this auto light that's lit up and the AC light that's lit up. You can see the difference in the indicators there. It'll go to DC and those will go off, and now we're only on DC. So that's running completely off your battery. Really no reason to do that. It's just an extra function they put in these smaller ones so that they go in a slide-in camper. So we're going to leave it on AC, which is primarily where you want to leave it. And we're in auto mode. So in auto mode, it's going to default to electricity. In the absence of electricity, it will switch over automatically to propane. You'll never lose your cooling. The only time you will is if this check light illuminates, then you know you have an issue. Okay, you can, if you prefer to run this only on propane, you go ahead and take it off of auto, and it'll just flip to gas. Okay, you always want to come in and look at this check light to make sure it's not lit up and that you have an issue, okay? Because then your food's going to spoil if that's lit up and you missed it and you're on the road for 5 or 6 hours. This is your temperature. I always keep mine on coldest, which is what it's on right now. It's on 5. And that's the basic functions of your refrigerator. As I spin, we have our air conditioning up here on the ceiling. So pretty self-explanatory, like any other air conditioner. You have your on and off, and then your temperature control here. Okay, you can open and close your vents. Alright, as I spin a little bit more, we have our TV location. So this is where you're going to mount a bracket if you wish to have a TV. Now remember that cable port out on the outside. This is the location it's going to feed. Up here on this wall plate, you have one for antenna and one for cable. When you're watching antenna, this has a digital antenna up on the roof. You're going to press this little black button and it's going to turn on the booster. Now, if you have this on and you try to hook up the cable, this booster will block the cable signal. This has to be off in order to allow cable TV channels through. There's your 110 plug, and then you have a 12-volt plug as well. Now, your table is what becomes your bed. You're going to take it off of these poles here, and it's going to sit down onto these rails here. Once it does that, then these cushions will slide across to make your bed. Under the table, see if I can get my flashlight on this. Back there in the far corner is your LP detector. You're going to see a green light on it. And what that green light's indicating is everything's okay. When you get a red light and you get an alarm will sound just like an alarm. It's beep, 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 beep. If you get a one beep, just beep, means your voltage is dropping in the trailer, your batteries come to an unsafe level if you're not hooked up to shore power, and this is not able to function. If you get the solid beep, then it's telling you that I'm about to die. To the side of that, you have your USB ports if you want to charge any cell phones, and then your GFI plug. If you lose a series of plugs in here, check your GFIs. That's the first thing you're going to do, and then check your breakers. All right. I'm going to spin a little bit more, and let's cover the stereo. So this is your new stereo. This is your JVC. We put your Sirius XM in for you, and your stereo, and here's all your booklets that'll come with it, with all the rest of the booklets for the trailer. And it has a remote. So when you're sitting way over here at the table, you'll be able to control your stereo. So Larry, you asked, how do I do just the outside or the inside? So what I'm going to do is show you that. So there's the name of the song, Bartender. Our interior speakers are working. And our exterior speakers are working equally. So now it's nighttime, you don't want to bug your neighbors. What we're going to do is the button all the way over here, where my thumb's at, I'm going to push that and hold it down. And you get EQ setting. Then turn this knob until you get audio control. Then press on this knob. Now turn it till you get fader. There's fader, press the knob again. Now position is equal inside and out. That's why it's 0, 0. As you turn it to the right, you're going to get F. F is basically front of the car and rear of the car. But we're going to, F is your inside speakers and R is your outside speakers. So if I turn this all the way to F6, it only goes from 0 to 6. And now, have it in here and completely off out here. Now let's do the opposite. So now I'm going to turn the knob to the left. Sorry about my professional video skills here. Off in here. And playing out here. So with that said, you can always make one heavier than the other. You don't have to go right in the middle. So you can have more inside and more outside, or however you want to do it. Okay, once you want to come out of this mode, just hit this button again and you're out. That's basically it. There's your fire extinguisher right inside the door. I forgot to show you where it's at. You got a ton of storage in here, a nice skylight to keep it light. Let's go into your bathroom. So your bathroom isn't all in one, but in a trailer of this size and this weight, this is only approximately just under 1,700 pounds. They did an awesome job with the space in here. Travelite, you've chosen a great product, and I truly appreciate that you chose to get it from us here in California. So there's your shower, hot and cold, just like any other shower. To the left here, you do have a shower curtain, so make sure to put that across to protect the wall and the door. And this is the one tank that dumps together. This is your gray and your black, and then your kitchen sink also goes into your gray. You only have one dump handle. That pretty much covers it. Let's go back outside. All right, Larry in Virginia, this is your 2019 Travelite F-Lite Falcon FL14. You chose a great trailer. I hope you truly enjoy it. I thank you very much for choosing to do business with us. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Thanks for watching, and take care.